Yeah, very good afternoon, Harsh. Thank you for having me. So we've seen, of course, what a recovery today in the index, and the overall setup indicates that buying can be seen at any small declines, and there's a lot of absorption at the lower levels. Call writers have invited their positions, and put writers have strengthened their base as well. So overall, all the derivative setup is also indicating that there is strength in this market, and we are actually expecting a good move from here. So now Nifty needs to hold above 25,650 levels for the next up move towards 26,000 mark. So we're going for buy on decline strategy on this one, and of course support would be at 25,500 levels. And talking about Bank Nifty, of course we've seen outperformance continue here thanks to the smaller banking names which are also still contributing to the up move. And we've seen that Bank Nifty has been consolidating at these levels from the last 8 odd trading sessions, but the good part is that there is a very smart recovery at 57,500 levels where a lot of buyers are sitting. So we're looking at 57,500 as the major support for the banking index for the next up move towards 59,000 levels.
Hmm.
All right, so that's the day coming in on Nifty as well as Nifty Bank. We have seen a stellar recovery from the day's lowest point, and a lot of these sectors are seen to be participating. Select PSU counters are actually doing up quite very well. Case in point being BHEL, which is now higher by almost 4% right now. But Shivangi, help us with a chart check over here, because I was just looking at the long-term chart, maybe a 6 months, if we can pull out that. The stock has managed to move above its key resistance of close to 270 odd rupees. This 4% move of BHEL, what does it really mean?
Absolutely, Shrishti. This chart structure has shown resilience despite the market volatility and weakness. This has actually shown, excellent follow-up buying after the breakout. The previous hurdle zones were around about at 270 levels, which is now acting as a good positional support level. We've seen weekly basis, it has actually come out of it bottoming out structure, and follow up again is quite strong on this one as well. So we're expecting a good up move here to continue towards 300 odd levels, and with a support of 280 zones.
All right, so that's the take coming in on BHEL. Let's watch out for that. But within the auto pack, interesting moves out there, because what I see is that, yes, M&M continues its run up. Almost a 1.7% gain is what we get to see. But Bajaj Auto, that's an interesting one, because just day before yesterday, we had the numbers, or rather last week, we had the numbers coming in from Bajaj Auto, seems line and inline sell, but the commentary was positive, but the markets did not appreciate it much yesterday. But today, almost a 2% move coming in over there, has surpassed that 8,900 rupees mark for itself. Kunal, what's your sense on Bajaj Auto? We have been flagging it off that it has been one of the key underperformers in the two-wheeler auto space. If we compare it with the moves of TVS as well as Eicher Motors, Hero MotoCorp, what a fantastic move. But now, what's happening with Bajaj Auto?
Yeah, it's been an underperformer. In both ways. When the stock corrected from that 12, 13,000 levels in 2024 towards a point when the stock almost halved at 7,000-ish odd mark. So more like a 40-45% correction for Bajaj Auto from those 2024 highs. So in that leg also the stock underperformed, and then in the bounce back mode in the last 2-3 months as well. The stock has underperformed. So, for example, Hero MotoCorp was almost at 4,000. The stock has rallied almost 20-25% broadly, coming back to 5,300-ish odd mark. You've seen Eicher Motors do phenomenally well. Bajaj Auto in the same way, I think from 7,000-ish odd levels, the stock has come back towards 8,800 odd mark. So that indicates that the stock has been an underperformer with respect to the most of the other pack. But I believe that the stock can make a decent comeback in the near-term play. I would look at 9,300 thereabouts as a near-term target for Bajaj Auto. But if the entire auto pack starts to make a comeback, and by that I mean the likes of Maruti, Eicher Motors, Hero MotoCorp, etc. If that shapes up, then you might see a much more further upside for Bajaj Auto. So as of now, it could be just about a mean reversion where the stock may bounce back and come back to 9,000 to 5,300 levels.
And Kunal, just on the index, the kind of move we've seen today, what do you make of that move? 25,700, and thereafter we've pulled back by around 30-40 points. Not significant there, but the move from the low of the day has been very solid. I think we're up, maybe at the top we were up 250 points from the low of the day, which is a % move in a day.
Exactly. So, the best way to try and judge how the markets are moving is the propensity of the markets to try and make comeback every now and then. For the last 7-8 days of the previous week, the markets did not have any capacity of making a comeback. We were down, I think, 7 out of the 8 days, we were down 7 days broadly for the indices. In the last 2 days, specifically yesterday and today, and give or take Friday also to a larger extent, the indices are trying to make comeback, for itself. 25,300 seems to be a good support for the index, where the Nifty has found an ample amount of support. Sector strength is starting to show signs of improvement. We were discussing yesterday the IT stocks. Today, you've seen some recovery in the few of the private sector banking names led by IndusInd Bank this time around. PSU stocks are making a comeback for themselves. So when you have an improving market breadth, improving sector strength, and the Nifty trying to take support at key levels, the tendency for the index to continue the uptrend is pretty much on the higher side. The only change which has happened for the markets, for a short-term trader, would be that the average to range for the markets are slightly higher. So earlier it was more like a 100 to 150 point range for the Nifty broadly throughout the day. But right now the ranges have shifted higher. The ATR for the index is almost like a 250 odd points for the Nifty. So that intraday jump in volatility is what could keep a short-term trader on the edge. But trend-wise, I think we are headed on the upside.
All right, headed on the upside when it comes to the trend in making. But with respect to Vodafone Idea, interesting commentary and the con call highlights on the bottom of your screen, where they say that they are in discussion with DOT about the next plan of action. They have completed the 5G rollout in 17 cities where they hold the 5G spectrum now. And with respect to the AGR dues, a positive commentary that they have now come out and now in discussions with the DOT. The growing population, penetration in government are the key growth drivers for Vodafone Idea, and even with the results where we have seen the losses to be shrinking on a sequential basis, and even the loss number was below than what the street was penciling in. That was indeed positive. At the start, where the stock was anywhere up between 2 to 3%, but with the day's move, it's almost up 8% right now. And throughout the day, we have seen that momentum picking up for Vodafone Idea. It's now a double-digit stock, so that's a good part. But what I'm also interested to see is the move on Indus Stars, because of late interesting developments over there. And Shivangi, what's your sense on Indus Stars as well? Because slowly and steadily, the stock is now holding that level of 400 rupees. What's your sense here? And I see that over the past 4-5 trading sessions, even the volumes are seen to be picking up.
Of course, Shrishti, this entire space has seen a good amount of action. Of course, technically, the most sound stock in this entire space would be Bharti Airtel, but we've seen a good amount of action in the other stocks as well. Talking about the Indus Tower structure, we've seen that this stock has seen a good up move in the last week, and we've seen, a domino effect on this one as well. But then again, we're consolidating at the higher levels. The good part is that it is still holding on to the support levels, which is quite important. So as long as it, holds above 390 levels, we could expect around about levels of 420 odd zones in this one.
ARPU too, in fact, improved to 167 rupees from 165 rupees last quarter. Largely in line with estimates, revenues coming ahead, and of course the numbers looking much better. Now, of course, the key is going to be that waiver of the tariff which it owes to the government. And if that gets waived, that could be a big one. But what we'll do is we'll slip into a very short break. Vodafone Idea, of course, on our radar. We'll slip into a very short break. Stay with us here on Closing Trades.